America needs a tidal wave of the old-time religion.
I have sinned against you.
How dare you!
We have no need to doubt God.
The harlot Babylon is preparing the nations to receive the Antichrist.
I didn't even build that house with money from the church. I built it with money from my book.
I don't make this stuff up.
Repenting of your sin.
It is a moral issue.
They got together and swore a pact to the devil.
I just enjoy seeing people worship, praising God.
Hey everybody, and welcome to
Believe It
or Does One
Does Not.
Don't tell me how to shake my lawn.
Down with Webster.
Down with Webster.
Down with Webster.
Yeah. What you talking about, Willis?
Do not touch Willis. Good advice.
And this has been Believe It or Not. Thanks, everybody. No, we're kidding.
Yeah, what a mismatch of references.
Yep. We should probably be shot in the head.
Yeah,
That.
It's okay. I don't think anything happened in what we said after the year 2000.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Well, maybe Down with Webster, but
Yeah. And then not Different Strokes or the TV show Webster, or. But anyways, have you ever been in an MLM before?
I've been thinking about joining one.
Oh.
I know there's a few. Okay, I might be wrong about this, but I don't think it's an MLM, but there's something like sketchy about it. But I know like Lululemon is supposedly
that's
in
sketchy.
that vein, right?
But it's not. It's Lululemon's not an LM, but there was Lulu-Roo.
Right.
LaRue or LaRue or.
I remember hearing something about it where like to work there, it's almost a little MLM culty. So I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure about that one though. Don't quote me on that.
But I think they're a sketchy company.
Maybe
all in all.
But I had a pair of their pants way back in the day.
Oh, how'd they feel?
Fine.
Good.
I don't think I really wore them much. I don't know
pants?
Why. Yeah, something like that.
Were you a yoga player?
No, it was just nice to have some nice comfy pants.
Well,
but they weren't for me, so I never bought them again.
The first time I met one of my family members' current boyfriends, I was flipping through Instagram, like a little while after meeting, and he looks over and he's like, "Is that a guy doing yoga?" And it was like one of my friends doing yoga on Instagram. I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Guys shouldn't do yoga." Okay, bud.
Sure.
You're cool guy alert.
Wow.
And
that is a cool guy alert.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure yoga started as probably just guys doing it.
Yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah. That, but what do I know?
What do I know?
I guess if you're doing North American lady yoga, guys shouldn't do it.
That's true. North American lady yoga is just for ladies.
Just for the ladies.
Yeah. I have a family member who always gets sucked into MLMs all the time.
Yeah.
Now, you may be looking around and see some of those products right in front of us here.
Oh, yes.
So I do get free products from her. And they're fine. I don't.
Yeah, I feel like my mom or my grandmother at one point have bought a few of these at one point. Like I feel like I've seen Mary Kay stuff.
Yeah.
Avon, I think for sure. Tupperware.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those ones that's been around forever.
Oh yeah, I have some Pampered Chef stuff.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I've never had it. I've seen it, but I've never had it.
And all the stuff that I have from MLMs is because I have family members that sell it. And then they're like, we have all this product that we can't move. You can just have this.
Yeah.
So it may look like I support MLMs, but I just support my family having less clutter.
I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty smart to just make a person buy a bunch of your stock.
That's true.
And then they have to sell it.
Yeah.
That's pretty smart.
And that's pretty much what the business plan of MLMs is. So MLMs, there's a lot of them. Some popular ones are Amway. It's one of the earliest one I think was Avon. And then Amway. Amway was the first one to really use Christian language in what they sold.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
We've done a full episode on them in the past, but...
Now, are a lot of these Christian-based, or is it just like Amway is one of the ones that is more Christian-based?
A lot of them are Christian-based and use a lot of Christian language. So either because they're actually like owned by Christians or because they know that Christians are a good target to make them sell.
It definitely feels like it's targeting a specific like demographic, and it's kind of looking for people who want to have that more personal connection with these things, right?
Yeah. doTERRA essential oils uses a lot of biblical stuff in their selling and in their language because, back before people had real medicine, they would use certain oils and certain herbs and stuff like that for healing.
Right.
Because they didn't have medicine yet. So
my issue with that is that using herbs and stuff is not essential oils.
Yeah.
Essential oils are pretty useless.
They really are. Young Living started first, and then doTERRA took from them, took some because it was some of the previous Young Living employees. But Young Living sued doTERRA and lost. But Young Living was started by a Mormon family. A Mormon guy. They use a lot of biblical language as well, a lot of God's giving you a purpose kind of language in their selling techniques and in their recruitment techniques.
You got a built-in market right there with that kind of stuff, though, right? Because if you can tie their... as they do with so much of it. Half of these churches are just saying that you have to give us money in order to go to heaven. This is something where it's just like, you have to give us money and buy our product in order to go to heaven.
Basically,
it's the same thing, right? It's just you're actually getting something in return for it. Whether that something's useful or not is another thing, but at least you're getting something tangible, I guess.
Yeah.
So you know what? I think I like MLMs more than I like
Well, we'll
churches.
see about that. So the FTC says that 99% of MLM participants lose money instead of make money. Yeah. The AARP did a study and they found that it's not it's not quite as drastic. 25% made a profit of the ones they surveyed. I don't know these numbers. I can't figure out if they mean since they started selling it or in a year.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly where that fits, but so it says 25% of them said they made a profit. 27% said they broke even, and only about half lost money. But if you think about it, what is that margin for broke even? Is that counting your gas mileage to go to these things? Is it counting the money it takes to go to these conferences? Is it counting setting up these events you have to put on?
Well, that's the other thing it's not taking into account is just your time and labor.
Yeah, exactly. Is it counting your labor? Yeah.
I guarantee it's not.
Yeah. And then with the 25% that said they made a profit, a quarter of that 14% made less than $5,000. So even if that's in a year, if that's in a year, that's not a year's salary. That's not a good salary to make.
$5,000 is not great.
No, I guess it's if you're doing this on top of your regular
to
job,
your income.
It's nice to have an extra $5,000.
But you're probably hustling your ass off for $5,000.
Yeah. No. 6% made between $5,000 and $10,000. 3% made between $10,000 and $25,000, and 3% made $25,000 or more, and 0.05% made $100,000 or more.
Now, I'm curious how much of this stuff is actually accurate, though.
Yeah,
and I wonder how many of these self-reporting people are just lying to boost the numbers.
Yeah. That's a great question. Because this is just a survey, you're giving your answers, and they're so encouraged to tell people that they're making money.
I'm always hesitant when I see things like this where it's based on survey results. Because first of all, the people doing the surveys are already, I feel going to be slightly biased.
Yeah.
In some way or another, no matter what the kind of thing is. It's well, these voters say they'll do this. I'm yeah. But the people who are actually answering the survey are a very particular type, I feel.
And I think it's Airbond, but it could be another company. But they give you this card, right? And I think some of these do this too, where they give you it's basically a gift card, like a Visa gift card kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they load your earnings onto this card, so you're not getting a bank transfer or anything like that. They give you a card, and then whatever you make gets on these cards. And you're encouraged to post when you spend the money you've made.
What?
So if you go to Starbucks and you buy something, you're encouraged to take a picture with that card and be yeah, this is all free because of this. It's no, it's not free. You're working for that money.
Why would you post that you're using that? I don't get what.
Yeah, it's because because the whole thing is you're trying to get your downline, right? You're trying to get people under you, so you're trying to make it
to
look
show
like
that you're making money.
lots of money,
Right?
And they're like, yeah, even if you don't buy something with that card, still just take a picture with it. Say you bought it with that card, so that it looks like you're trying to look like you're making money.
Yeah, you're just like waving the cash in front of people.
Yeah,
really weird.
Yeah, but like we said, okay, so if you follow, there's a TikTok named Canadian Kels, which everybody should go and follow. She's fantastic.
I have to get TikTok.
Yeah, you got to get it. It'll melt your brain right out. But she does surveys of just publicly available data when it comes to. She started with the people she went to high school with to see what they were up to.
Okay.
And so she did surveys about like what evangelicals were into, what different churches were into, for what MLMs were selling, and then she would do like crossover of like which MLMs have the highest ratio of people married to cops. She does a lot of interesting things like that. So for actual stats and stuff, I would say check her out. She's fantastic. She's very funny, and people keep reporting her because MLMs are brutal. And so MLM members just keep reporting her and like trying to get her shut down because she's calling out MLMs.
Yeah. Well, of course, they don't want her to prove them wrong because then they look stupid.
Yeah.
Right? That's how they keep you in, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's the same with most of these cults, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They weaponize your incompetence and your fallibility or whatever here.
Yeah. And so a lot of MLM members are evangelical Christians in general, or Mormons. There's a lot of Mormons in, especially like Young Living was started by a Mormon. It's centered in Utah. It's like, they're a sketchy company.
Now, this might be just like a perception of it, and I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it seems that a lot of these things focus on kind of like that trad wife kind of side of people, right? Mothers, stay-at-home people who don't have a job or something, and they're looking for something to do with their time and make a little money. Would you say that's a fair assessment of what a lot of these are targeting?
Yeah, they target women, stay-at-home moms a lot, and more often than not, maybe not more often than not, but a lot of stay-at-home moms are Christian women, and you do have situations too where churches don't allow women to work outside the home, but anything where you can still be home and work is allowed in some of these churches. So,
well, I think that's more what I meant. I feel like in a more evangelical kind of household where you are a stay-at-home mom, I feel like you're probably a lot more limited and restricted in what. Maybe I don't know, and that's why something like this might appeal to that demographic more so than, say, someone who's not.
Yeah. It's so they definitely target stay-at-home moms, and that by default a lot of Christian moms. The other thing too is that Christians are already kind of set up for evangelizing and sharing their faith, so they make a good target too.
No shame.
No shame. Which is, I heard something about how the FBI recruits ex-Mormon missionaries.
Right.
So I guess it's the same with this. And they also tie it to your faith. Right. So they tie selling these products not just to your faith, but it has a lot of the same language as faith and trust. And so it's not about, they can't come to you with stats and be like, this is what you're going to make in a year, and this is what the average person makes in a year, because that would look bad. So it's all about, you got to trust me. If you put the work in, then you can do it. And so that's why the conferences, like we watched part of that one conference.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even get to them actually telling you to do stuff.
No.
It was wild. But again, that's what it is. It's like, you can do this if you do the work and you do it right. And then if you fail, it's because of you, not because of what it is.
Yeah, and that's the Christian model too.
No shame.
Yeah.
Speaking of shame, we'll be right back after these sponsors.
No shame.
Do you need your butthole bleached? Aries booty bleach.
Barry's booty bleachers.
We'll get our booties bleached for Patreon exclusive only.
And I'm sure you've had it where you are at work and they try to make it so that your job is a family, and they try to sell like, we're all part of something bigger than ourselves.
You're not.
But MLMs take this to the extreme because that's what they're selling. They're selling the community around it.
Yep.
They're selling a false dream. It's all, but of course it's Christian. They're selling a false dream and they're selling a community.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just one way to make you invest yourself more into it and make it harder for you to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're not walking away from a business opportunity. You're walking away from a lifestyle and a choice that you have made now a part of who you are.
Yeah. And like with religion, where it's like if somebody's telling you should get out of a religion, they're going to tell you that person is negative and that person is bad and that person just wants to see you fail. It's the same thing with MLMs. That's how they counter people who are telling you that you're in a pyramid scheme, you're going to lose all your money. It's like those are the negative people who don't want you to succeed.
Right.
Even if they don't know it, they secretly want you to fail, and that's why they're saying this stuff.
You know, it's funny. It's because you're saying the exact, like, I don't necessarily want you to fail. That's why I'm telling you to get out.
Exactly. It's the complete opposite. Like,
well, I mean, I don't care. Fail.
Just
fail.
Yeah.
And we can learn from our failures.
Yeah.
But the thing is, they probably won't.
No.
I won't.
I
refuse.
The lesson here is never try.
Never have, never will.
Yeah. And so they don't set things up like, here's your margins, here's how you can actually succeed. I mean, they will say things like bother your friends and stuff, but they don't actually have, like, with a regular business, you have sales targets and they're actually based on stats and what you can accomplish, where this is like, if you set your mind to it, you can do it. And they use language like it'll set you free, and they use language of like, this is going to make you a brand new you and things like that.
Right.
So it's like they paint your life now as like dreary and awful. And then it's like, if you sell our product, your life is going to be fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe don't tie your self-worth to selling Tupperware.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's trying to alleviate dissatisfaction with your current situation by tying it to, what they're trying to sell so they can make money.
Yep. They're trying to sell you the solution, so they make the problem seem worse instead of like an actual good business opportunity.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper to join an MLM than it is to start a lot of businesses. That's for
sure.
But in real businesses, you can actually make money. I mean, yeah, real businesses fail sometimes too, but these fail all the time.
Yeah. I mean, either way, you're taking a big risk, and that's something you have to acknowledge. But I don't know.
Yeah, these are almost set up to fail.
I mean, if you're just looking to make some money, just get a part-time job. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
There's so many opportunities to work from home now, too.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not like you have to do anything.
Yeah.
Just get like a gaming headset and, do phone calls.
Yeah.
It sucks, but
yeah, I did that.
You're making money instead of, most likely losing a lot of money and having a bunch of shit in your house now.
Exactly. Like, I was working from home for about 2 years, working at a garbage company, just selling garbage pickups.
The company wasn't garbage.
Yeah.
It was a company that
it was
got rid of garbage.
It was actually one of the better companies I've worked for. We were like a family there.
Wow.
No.
Until they ostracized you for your beliefs.
It's true.
No. Did they?
No, they were very supportive. Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
And one thing I heard too is like, not only do they target stay-at-home moms, but they target you in a way that if you want to talk to your husband about this huge financial decision, they make you feel like like, oh, you have to talk to your husband about every decision, and like it's really high pressure sales to get them to like move on to the next step with them. So because they don't want any outside interference, they want it to be like, you're the boss, babe, you're gonna be making money and your husband's gonna be so glad you did this.
Oh man, I don't know how many like TV shows and movies where I've seen this play out so many times, right?
Yeah.
Just a dissatisfied housewife trying to find a way to find like some purpose or whatever.
Have an affair.
Yeah, that's true too. It's better to bankrupt your marriage than to bankrupt your bank account, I guess.
Yeah. No, I don't encourage having an affair. Unless you and your husband want that as like part of your...
Yeah, I mean, if you're into that, go for it, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess it wouldn't be an affair then, would it?
No, it'd be like unless that gets you going to call it an affair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, if everybody's consenting, then it's not really an affair.
It's not. No.
It's more of a sex thing.
Good fun time.
Yeah. Good fun time for everyone.
Yeah, and their conferences aren't like, here are some sales techniques, here's what's worked for other people. It's basically a giant church service. So they're usually tailored to their demographic for like, if there's a lot of evangelical people, then they're going to use a lot of God language and a lot of fulfilling your destiny kind of language. And it's going to be a big event with full band and...
Like the one we just watched.
Yeah.
Should we talk about that now? Is that a good time?
Yeah.
Okay. So what was this thing called? What was this? Give us the context here, because you gave it to me briefly.
Yeah.
And then I forgot it because I was just so confused.
So I was going to show it on here and then realize that we will get copyrighted. So I want everybody to please watch the one conference from Young Living, which is a essential oils company.
Will they copyright you if you post the link in the description?
No. So I'll put the link in the description on YouTube. So it's the one 2020, their conference, and what it is it's the wife of the founder singing, not opera.
No, it's just like it honestly feels like a huge award ceremony thing. Like it feels like they're like
kinda
the
like
Kennedy
Eurovision.
Center Awards or like the Oscars, and they're doing this like super serious orchestral, like big pop kind of ballad number.
And she's standing there with this dress, all in white, spread out on the ground.
They got projections on it with like the world and shit swirling and a bunch of violins and stuff. And it's taking itself so seriously, but it's just so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, and it starts off with like your God-given right to, like fulfill your God-given right for freedom and being part of something bigger than yourself.
Right.
And it's this imagery of like, it's not like here are the products that you sell. Here's how we can sell them. It's you're going to make a huge difference in your life and the world around you, and it's a mission. They're sending you on a mission.
Right.
And
see, I would think this is ridiculous in any real context. Something like this, like if it was like in any other award show or something where it's just like we're trying to help a bunch of dying children somewhere, and then they did this concert, I would still think that this is just so ostentatious and just ridiculously over the top for no reason other than maybe their vanity.
Yeah, exactly.
But the fact that this is like a conference for an essential oil company was like, what is happening?
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I've been to work parties and stuff, and like, I get want to do things to thank your employees, but this is so much bigger than that. This is like, they're really making you feel like this is a life-changing event in your life, and this conference is going forward, you're going to have this most amazing life because you're now selling our shitty oils.
Would you, so if you were working a job and then you got invited to this big dinner for whatever reason, and then the CEO sings a huge ballad with an orchestra. Would you think that's cool, or would you be like, "What the fuck is
I'd be
this?
like, what the fuck is happening?
You couldn't have used this money for this production to maybe, like, I don't know, give me a raise and let me stay home so I don't have to come to this bullshit."
Well, it's like,
I would think it's insane.
have you ever watched Hotel Hell?
No.
Okay, so there's one episode of Hotel Hell.
Oh, I've heard of this. Okay.
This is Gordon Ramsay.
Right.
And
It took me a minute. I'm like,
where the woman who owns the hotel sings in the restaurant of the hotel every night.
I think I have seen this one.
She's
actually.
like a Cher.
Yeah.
She's a Cher impersonator. And because she owns the venue, she's allowed to sing, but the audience hated it. That's what that video, it was like high-tech version of that, where it's like, now I have this audience. I have all this money because I stole it from my customers. And that's the thing too. MLM, people who sell MLMs, you're the customer.
Yes.
You're not working for the company.
No.
You're the target. You're their customer.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's actually really smart what they do.
Yeah. In a skeezy, evil way. It's very
But that's
smart.
what business is. Business is skeezy and evil, right?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I'm starting to try to understand the difference between capitalism and commerce, because there is ethical ways to sell a product.
For sure.
But capitalism is evil. But we're part of it. And,
yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I just think things have gotten too big and too unregulated and too, they're just kind of able to do almost whatever they want.
Yeah. And I think churches are really good at making you feel small and making you feel weak.
That's why the buildings are so big.
Yeah, exactly. And so are these places. Like it's making you feel like you're small now, but you can be big. And
This is just like a televangelist concert, right? I
Yep.
mean, it's very like Righteous Gemstones,
Yep. Very much
Put
so.
on this huge production to wow everybody so they don't see all the cracks underneath the pancake makeup,
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And church is a pyramid scheme, so it makes sense that people in churches are going to join.
Some churches make you build pyramids.
Yeah,
so.
it's true. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts on Christians and MLMs?
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily agree with both.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of evil.
I think I'm more fine with people being Christians.
Yeah, almost.
I mean, hey, you're gonna believe what you're gonna believe. I guess.
At least being a Christian, you get to keep 90% of your money.
Yeah, I mean, you can choose to donate or not, right?
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Well, some churches you have to donate 10%. Some churches,
if you have to donate 10%, they're fucking you.
Yeah, they're fucking you.
Get out of there.
I mean, they're probably all fucking you, but these guys are.
But if they're mandating a percentage, no.
Yeah.
No. Charity should not be mandated in that way. If charity is given a number and it's like, well, if you're not donating 10%, then you got to leave. That's not charity.
But me and Damien, we always donate $10,000 each.
Yeah.
To charity.
Right.
Each.
But I'm saying if it's mandatory for you to donate 10% of your salary, that's not a donation.
No.
That's a fee.
Yeah.
That's a membership fee.
Exactly. If you have to buy your way into heaven, you got problems.
Yeah. There's a few people we could talk about that with.
Yeah.
But we might get murdered if we mention it.
I don't want to get murdered.
Well, it could happen, There's a lot of people who are paying their way into the afterlife or whatever.
Yeah.
Or at least into their, sex cults or whatever.
Yeah.
So they can abuse people and take advantage of them.
Yeah.
So,
well, it was like Tom Cruise got to the highest tier. And they're like, we can't give any more tiers.
I mean, that's kind of what I was talking about. That side of things. I didn't want to name it because I'm.
I'll say it. Damien won't say it, but I'll say fuck Scientology.
Yeah, fuck Scientology.
Yeah.
I don't like them. It's see, that's the thing that bothers me too. Is like the parallels between most religions.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's more obvious than others.
Yeah.
And it's still.
Yeah.
But again, people use it for influence and power.
Yeah.
Here we are.
And here we are. But you know who doesn't care about power, but still has a lot of it within their groins? Our patrons.
Yeah. They're powerful groins.
So
From all those lunges they do.
yeah.
Yeah. That's what you meant, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
So let's thank our patrons.
All right, we'll thank them all.
Oh my God! Wow! Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Bible study.
Thank you all for joining us again. As you know, it's starting to get to be a colder time, and with that, we want to make sure that everyone's coming inside, safe from the elements, and that's why we're saying come into Bible study, because what better way to escape the harsh realities of life and the world outside but to shut yourself up in the good book.
Yeah, or an escape room. Either a
Oh.
Bible study or you could do an escape room.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, but either one is good, I think. And I think the Bible, some escape rooms have Bibles, but there's usually just clues in it. I think Bible study is just better overall.
Some might say the Bible is like an escape room.
Oh, amen.
And you have to get Jesus out of the book and into your heart.
Oh, wow. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, should we do some prayers? Should we lift up everybody?
Let's lift them up. Lift them up on high. Put them on the roof.
Put them on the roof. Well, I have very special. I think we should pray for Lucy Goosey, Allie and Bill, Anna, Carolyn, and Timothy. We just lift them up all the way up to the ceiling.
Put them on the top shelf. Put them on the roof. Put them on the ceiling. You know, we want them right up top there. Nothing below.
Amen.
And I have a special prayer request today for our friend Cameron. Now, Cameron and I, we were out the other day. We were Bible shopping, of course, and Cameron insisted on getting a teen Bible. And I'm like, Cameron, you're not a teen. You can't buy teen Bibles. People will think you're weird. I'm like, listen, you have to get age appropriate Bibles. I can't go out getting my first Bible.
Amen.
I'd look like an idiot.
You'd look like a fucking moron.
God knows which Bible you're reading.
Yeah, amen.
So, Cameron, if you could, remember, age-appropriate Bibles for every age, okay?
Amen. Cameron.
Amen.
Thank you, everybody. And in that light, we're going to go move over to a go Christian rock lyric.
We're gonna rock out to those lyrics.
Can't you see you're not making Christianity better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
All right, so this song, I felt like doing Matthew West again. Matthew West is cringe central, why not cringe?
The title rhymes too.
Yeah, my story, your glory.
My story, your glory. My story, your glory.
And this is another, what did you call it, simp?
Simping for the Lord?
Simping for the Lord.
Yeah.
The story of me was a story of shame. Yeah, because the church makes you feel shame. Wrong turns written on every page. Good GPS. I'm going to make a comment after every line. So many parts that were so messed up, but I love the part where you showed up. So show up more often, God. Rewriting my past, rewriting my hurt, line by line, word by word, and now my story is living proof. There's not a chapter that you can't use. My story, your glory. My pain, your purpose. My mess, your message.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
These guys are so sad. And
see, this is one of those things that I just find so just kind of, I don't know. Why do all these things like with religion have to be about like how pathetic and lame you are?
Yeah.
Why does it always have to be like, I'm a fucking idiot, I suck, I'm useless, I can't do anything unless the good Lord helps me? Which is also kind of my problem with like AA programs as well, where you have to be like, I'm a worthless piece of shit, I have no control over anything I do, I have to give in to a higher power, which is wild to me, because it's like, how is that in any way actually healthy, constructive, or productive in order to get you to a place where you can be healthy and happy, right?
Yeah, no.
If you're constantly putting yourself in a situation where you're saying you're powerless, you're a victim, and that you need some intervention from an outside entity in order, like, I'm not saying that you don't need help or something. That's a different story than saying that you need an authority figure to give you this power.
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like a productive way to actually build a positive change in somebody.
No. I mean, because what I did was use drugs. There's prescriptions you can get to help with cravings for the first bit.
Sure.
And I also had doctors I could talk to and nurses I could talk to, and I have a great group of friends and family. But a lot of it is realizing that you are strong enough to do it.
Yeah.
And realizing that the strength, you're the one who has to do it, and you're the one with the strength to do it.
Exactly. I mean, you had aids to help you get there, and you had things that helped you move towards those paths. But at the end of the day, none of those things were saying that. None of those ways that you went about it were saying that you're not worth these things, and that you're terrible because of these things, and that doing this stuff makes you less than whatever it is.
Yeah.
You were using the resources and the people and the things around you in order to better yourself and to make yourself a better person, rather than saying that I'm a terrible person and the only way I can be better is with God.
Yeah. No, that's
which is
so gross. Yeah.
Which is, I don't know. There's a word I'm trying to think about. I'm trying to think there. Not codependent?
Yeah. Codependent works. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's, because that was my thing where I struggled so long with my self-esteem while I was a Christian. And I just kept going to the church and to God and stuff about it. But the church is also telling me that I should feel shame, that my story was a story of shame. Everything is a wrong turn.
For sure. And I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with feeling shame. I think it's okay. I mean, and it's understandable in situations like that to feel shame.
Yeah.
But I think highlighting it as like the key important thing and what the issue is kind of neglects dealing with what the actual issue is.
Yeah.
And all it's doing is it's focusing on the negativity part of it rather than being like, you have a problem and we need to like work on that. It's okay to feel bad about it, but that shouldn't be the only thing that you're like looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
It shouldn't be the focus of what everything is. And I mean, you can feel shame, but I don't think it should be like you should feel shame because you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And you shouldn't like the shame shouldn't be your life now.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm circling around the same thing. To get to like,
no,
there's a more nuanced point in this that I'm trying to
articulate
here that I just can't seem to find. But I think you understand what I'm saying.
I get it. Yeah, it's like you're saying like you like big butts and you cannot lie.
Cannot lie.
Yeah, and I get that.
Yeah.
No, but I hear you. Yeah, and but that's what this life teaches. Like that's what this Christian life teaches you is that you're worthless without God, and
Well, I think the other thing too is that then what happens is that when you do get better, rather than it being a positive thing for you as an individual, saying like you've made improvements, you've done a lot to change these behaviors and these patterns to better yourself and the people around you. It's God has made these changes for you. God has done this stuff for you. You're still a piece of shit, but God is good and he's made you better because of that. It kind of takes away from that accomplishment, and it kind of minimizes the work that you put in as an individual. And I think that all that's doing is just keeping that self-esteem low, right?
100%. 100%. Every mistake is yours. Every victory is God's. Yeah. And you're just,
Where I think it should be the opposite.
Where I agree. Every failure is because God did it.
I mean, if he's all-powerful, all-knowing, and he works in mysterious ways, he should be taking the L's as well as the W's.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy is what I say.
I don't know. If I was an all-powerful being, I would just make sure there was less L's.
Yeah.
So.
Same.
I don't know. That's just me, though.
You don't know the ways of the Lord.
Yeah. I'm mysterious, baby. He's probably out back smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
You know? And like these fucking idiots.
Oh, do they need me again?
They don't fucking know what I'm doing.
I step out for 10,000 years and all of a sudden.
What happened? I was out back taking a piss.
All right, folks. You are all wonderful. Don't sell MLMs.
No.
Don't hate yourself.
No. Be good to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself better for you, not for some higher power.
Yeah, and not for some guy.
Yeah. Unless he's really cute.
Yeah, it's true.
Or not. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Work, Sky Moon.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network.
Sonar!